Hey loves. So I wanted to come on here and speak with y'all from the heart a little bit. I really hope my audio is okay, because if it's not, that would stink. But I wanted to make a video from the heart because been having so many thoughts about so many things, and I really miss uploading. I miss life before the pandemic. I miss so many things about how life used to be. And, I just wanted to say, I'm tired. I am genuinely tired of whatever this world is, whatever this world truly is about. I am just tired of it all. I really am. People that are enlightened or twin flames or light workers or spiritual healers, they have to fight to survive just like anybody else. We have to survive like anybody else. And it's the sad reality that most of us that are surrounded by people who are freaking agents and are still stuck in the religious mindset, and living for law and rules, and don't really understand that this is all a construct to keep us boxed in. And I thought was passing my mind tonight, and I'm like, the world is not getting any better. The world is not getting any better. In fact, I remember very vividly when I did a prediction video. I think it was back in 2020 or end of 2019, where I was predicting all these things happening in the world. There was even a bold prediction about pastors and how people are going to start to turn away from, a lot of pastors, a lot of pastors are about to be exposed and all this stuff. And what do you know? My 2020 and beyond prediction came true. Joel freaking Osteen being exposed for hoarding all this money. I think they said he keeps over 50 million just to be a pastor. Now, what pastor makes 50 million or keeps 50 million of a congregation's money towards the church or whatever? And so people are talking about how the church doesn't get taxed. A lot of these fraudulent systems don't get taxed, but yet they want to tax all of us. And then God forbid, you make it out, you win the lottery or you strike gold with some kind of investment or whatever the heck. Depending upon where you live, they tax that as well. So, as I told you all, I have been working around the clock, full time. I mean, you name it. Everything is so expensive. And quite frankly, the Canon camera that I bought, one so-called Black Friday sale, which is nonsense, I'm gonna sell, you all. I've never used it. It's too complicated. The whole goal was to have that Canon camera and use for the channel and use for myself. And when I go on vacation or whatever, take beautiful pictures. It's since the pandemic, it's never gotten out of the camera bag. So when I resell that camera, I'm going to get at least $700, $600 that's a lot of money, you know? Like, for what I paid for the camera when it was like pre-pandemic, that was nothing. But I know every single one of you watching me right now, live in replay, $700 and up for a camera is a lot of money in this economy. And I don't even use it. So I'm like, you know what? I need to sell that thing because I don't use it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go back to, old school, like what I used to do with you all on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, use what I've been using, But that's how they get you. That's how the system gets you. They dangle a carrot in your face and say, oh, 50% off, 40% off. And that's how they get you. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy because, like, everything that I didn't want to do one way or another, by environment, by parents, by whatever, I've been like forced to do. And tonight I had to like look at my life, and I'm like, a lot of things that most people, including myself, like have had to do to like survive or like, be equipped to work in this world, is like, it's all a scam. It's literally all a scam. And it's funny how I was talking with someone earlier, picking up my mail, and the lady was talking about how, she was saying how these people, want to have all these like prestigious careers or whatever, professions, whatever. And she was talking about how many people she knows that are like in all this debt because they want to like make something of themselves, or if their parents or whoever, their family, encourage them to like be a doctor or be a, the typical thing, like being a nurse, being a doctor, being a lawyer. She's like, why are they paying to get an education? Why, matter of fact, why are they going in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to be these professions that, quite frankly, the country, the state should be supporting these young people, should be supporting young adults, whatever, to want to like be better. But instead they're punishing them. They're punishing them. And so the system is flawed. Everything is flawed. Rent is sky high. Mortgages, you want to buy a house, whether new construction or a resale house, you're paying an arm and a leg and a foot. And so because of this messed up this messed up system, it's like, or just this construct we live in of just nonsense, I don't feel like I've been able to like be in my true energy or even be able to upload as much as I was before, because now it's like survival. And that is like really messed up to me, And some people who are still asleep and they live for the almighty dollar, they're going to say, well, that's life. You have to work. Don't be lazy. But that's not the angle I'm talking about. The angle I'm talking about is the fact that you're never going to get out of this. That's the fact I'm talking about, is that you will never get out of it. Like, as long as you're alive in this system. I'm back, you all. The thing was buffering. But the point that I'm trying to, it was like buffering weird. So I went out and went back on. But the point that I'm making is that as long as you're alive, you're never going to get out of this. And what I'm saying is, if light workers and healers and so-called real twin flames and all this stuff is real, then it's like everybody's, I don't know. I'm just speaking for how I feel. Like to me, I feel like all the efforts of not just those type of, titles or whatever, but even people who, have been world leaders, have been inspirational world leaders that are now dead and gone. Like, is it for nothing? Is all the effort to bring awareness and love and all this stuff, like, is it just like, I don't know, like every real reader, spiritualist, maybe even pastor, not sure about the pastor thing nowadays, but it's like everybody who's legit doesn't want to charge for what they do. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to have to put money or bills before what they're called to do. But the constructs that we live within doesn't give you a choice. It doesn't give you a choice. And if you're working a full-time job, by the time you get home, you're exhausted. So that's why when I was first starting out, I would always chuckle when people would be surprised that I was in college and that I was working, because people cannot fathom the fact that I was working at times more than one job and I was still uploading all the time. And there's been a couple occasions where I've had to break to people that I'm actually like working. I'm actually working, and I'm not just like uploading videos. Like, I actually have to, like, I actually do that. And so when I was much younger, I do think that I had impeccable time management, but it came at a cost. It came with a lot of sleepless nights, you know, a lot of caffeine, and I was never really resting my body. You know, what I want you all to understand is that, like, especially pre-pandemic, I wasn't sleeping, you know, to do what I was doing. And I was on such a, like, you know, I was just on such a, you know, I can't use any other word. I want to be careful what I say on here, but, you know, okay, yeah, I was like so happy and all this stuff. Like, I was just never really sleeping, you know? I had a dream. I had a purpose to fulfill. I felt like every video that I've done that's gone viral was meant to happen. I believe 1,100%, like, every video that I've ever made that's gone viral was meant to happen, was meant to be there. And I'm grateful that I was able to have the time to do that. But it's like the world is so bad. You know, the way in which we have to live is just so sad. And I'm like, all the things I've had to do, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, you know? I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense at all, you know? And so the focus that I've had, and a lot of people have, I think, at this point in the world, is just financial freedom. You know, there's no scenario right now that I'm living in where I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this the way that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. Like, I'm just sick and tired of it. And I'm like, wow, you know, God forbid if people actually had like missions to complete and like things to do down here, it would hardly get done, you know? Like, it really would not get done in the magnitude that I could see most people who are legit would want it to manifest, unless they turn what they're doing into, you know, a business. But why would anybody want to do that? You know, why would I want to? First of all, it's really hard to do. And second of all, money in that sense has nothing to do with anything of what spiritual people are doing. Like, money is not connected to any of that, right? Like the paper dollar is not connected in any way to what people are actually trying to bring on this planet and bring awareness to. So it's like a trap. To me, it feels like not just a rat race, but it's all very confusing, because then you have to stop and ask yourself, what is the point of all of this? You know? what is the actual point? You know, it's just like, and then what's hilarious is when I see people who are not even like spiritually based, right? And they have like a lot of money and they just do like charity work or philanthropic things just to like, for the hell of it, you know? Not that they actually like want to, it's like a tax write-off, you know? It's just so twisted. It's so sick and twisted. Like, I don't understand how with this world, everything revolves around money. Everything revolves around survival. I don't get how that is a world, a purpose, a world that deserves to exist. I don't get it. Like, you know, people can't even spend time with their family. They can't even sleep at night. They can't even afford anything. I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. And I don't get it, you know? And it kind of now, sadly, it kind of now makes me look at all the people from high school and people that I've known, and even they you know, not like on a personal, I'm saying like people that, you know, go to the same school, whatever, or you hear things on the news, like, you know, like where you, like your city or whatever, like, or your state, like when I hear people that are, you know, overdose or they're not in this world anymore, you know, I don't judge them. The harsh reality is I don't judge them, because maybe all these people who tapped out early out of life, you know, they probably knew something that they probably knew something that we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe their soul was too advanced and said, you know what, I'm out of here. Like, I regret coming down here. I regret being born, like, you know? And so the rest of us who are still alive, you know, past the pandemic and all this stuff, it's like we have been given such a hard torch. We're living in a world that is so much harder. And I'm like, wow. You know, they expect that people should just keep carrying on like this and like this is just normal. It's not normal. Nothing about it is normal. I mean, I can't even work hard enough on YouTube to afford my lifestyle in that sense, if I put it that way. Like, it wouldn't be enough, you know, because everything is quadruple. You know, I don't live in the middle of nowhere. You know, where I live, things are expensive. And yes, I can move, but as we all know, moving is also expensive. I'm not going to move somewhere. I'm not going to move to the middle of nowhere where I don't have any family or friends. You know, I'm not going to do that, you know, unless I feel called, like strongly called. I want to be somewhere where I at least know people around me, you know, where I at least have support around me. And I'm not just by myself in a city. I have no idea what the city is. I wouldn't want to live a life like that. So, you know, to not sound crazy, but I regret being a twin flame, if that's what they want to call it. You know, like, it has brought a lot of pain in my life that I've had to heal from. And you know, when you are awakened, it comes with a lot. You know, it makes you see the world differently. And like they say, once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep. You know, once you see the world the way it is, you can't so-called tap out. You know, the only way you tap out is if you get the hell out of Dodge. You know, the only way you tap out of all this, you know, get up, work, eat, sleep, get up, work, eat, sleep, and, you know, every day is about just getting $1. Like, there's no purpose to that, you know? And that's why a lot of times I feel like yeah, people say that having a child, bringing a child into this world is selfish. You know, I think it is selfish, because why would you want to have an innocent soul, an innocent vessel, go through exactly what you went through? You know, like survival. Why would you want to duplicate the misery? So it looks like, you know, if you're rich and you can work when you want to work, or you don't have to work at all, like that's the only way that this kind of life experience is worth it. For the most part, like if you're not always trying to just get ahead, like if you're wealthy in more ways than one, wealthy in knowledge, wealthy in resources, like there's no escaping it. Even the most spiritually awakened person on YouTube, like they can't escape that reality, guys. You know, they can't escape their bills. And if they try to escape their bills, they're going to be homeless. So don't fall for the hype. Like everybody you see on YouTube who is so-called in the spiritual community, or has been, you know, making videos like mine or whatever, like none of these people can escape bills. Not one of us. Not you watching me, not me talking to you. Nobody can escape this. There's no way out, you know? Unless the system absolutely collapses and they just get rid of all this and it's completely different, there is like no point to any of it. Like there's no point. And that's why people say as a cop-out, oh, you create the meaning of life. When somebody says plain Jane, what is the meaning of life, right? What they're always quick to say is, oh, you make the meaning, right? And they're saying that because the reality within itself is so ridiculous. Like it doesn't make any logical sense, you know? A scientist, a quantum physicist, like people would have to research for eternity to get on the alpha and omega, you know, frequency to understand how all of this came into being, beyond the Big Bang, beyond all of that, right? Like it would take a very long time. And I don't think that humanity is ever going to know the depths and the crevices of all of this. They're never going to get it. Like, you know, the closest thing to making, you know, the most sense to me is the simulation theory. People who've done DMT, you know, and they see the dome, they see the firmament, you know. The Bible, if you want to talk scripture, the Bible even talks about a firmament. So, you know, that's the only thing that makes sense. It's like something else is controlling us that's not in our control, and we're like slaves. You know, like that's the gist of it. And just humans are just, for lack of a better word, human, right? Not all of us are human, but are just reproducing to keep being slaves. That's all I see. And it may sound really dark, but like, that's all I see, y'all. That's all I see. That's really all I see. I'm being so honest with y'all. Like, that's all I see. So, why would I want to have... God, this light is so bright. Like, I can't even see. What the hell? This cop just stopped somebody in their light. I don't know if you can see it on camera. You probably can't see it on camera. But what I'm saying is, like, that's why I'm so against like having a child, at least right now in the world, because I'm like, they're only coming down here to be a work slave. They're not here to do art and make music and have fun. And like, that's all going to be stripped from them. The second that they turn 18, 21, 25, like that's out the window, you know? And that's sad. So in a lot of ways, I'm grateful that for what it was and for the spiritual awakening I was able to have and get out of like the church system and all that, and like leave that all behind, because I knew that was not what was best for my higher self, you know. And I had to step in that authentically. Like, I'm grateful that I was able to have that, you know, slice of freedom and happiness, because now that I'm a young adult and I have more responsibilities, as you all can imagine, in this economy, it's like that's all out the window. It's like, if you didn't have that opportunity before the pandemic, before like you turn like 21 in this world, like at this current age, like you're doomed, bro. Like you really are. It's sad to say that, but it's like you were not able to have that, because now the world is so different, you know? So I don't know. I definitely miss how things used to be. I miss it, you know, deeply. And I also have to acknowledge with myself that I have to give myself, you know, time and space to adapt to all this, you know? I have to be softer on myself and understand that I have to adapt, like, you know? So, love you all. I'm going to get off of here now. I got to go. Bye.